What's going on, guys? Today's video I wanted to quickly show you the build that I've been using to get me all the way through New Game +2 now. It's made this game pretty much easy mode for me. It is a dual wield dexterity bleed build. In patch 1.02 they fixed bleed scaling with arcane, so this build is hitting even harder than it was before. Let's take a look at the build. We're using dual scimitars, which is actually the starting weapon on the warrior class. These initially have a dexterity scaling of D, but after they're upgraded, they have a dexterity scaling of B. We've got an arcane scaling of D. That's after putting on the blood ashes of war. Our backup weapon is a finger seal. You can get the dragon seal here, but we're just using this for a buff, so just the regular finger seal is fine. As far as armor, I'm using whatever I think looks cool. You can, if you want maximum armor value, you probably want to go with either the Radahn's gear or you want to go with the veteran's gear. We have enough equip load on this build where you can actually run a full heavy and get more armor and still be in a medium load. So I found that armor does not really matter in this game very much, so just kind of wear what you would like. But if you do want to min-max your build and use the strongest armor, go with veterans. You can go with the white mask here. This will give you additional bleed damage, or you can go with the Okina mask. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but this gives you extra dexterity. And then the third option here would be the silver tier mask, which gives you additional arcane. But basically, like I said before, I went with just what I thought looks cool because armor in this game does not actually really matter that much. So I've just got a black hood, Knight's Cavalry armor, Lionel's gauntlets, and Lionel's greaves. For the talismans, I'm using a Radagon's source seal. The green turtle talisman, this one is a must. The green turtle talisman, you really need this because with dual wield, you just eat stam, like 3 or 4 attacks and you're out of stam, so we need that extra stam regen. Winged sword insignia, this increases our attack power with successive attacks, and running dual wield, we're doing a lot of successive attacks, so this is great. It's not a whole lot of extra damage, so you can definitely run Erdtree's Favor. Erdtree's Favor is also a good choice. This will give you extra health and extra stamina, so it's not super important that you do run the winged sword insignia. If I was going to replace it with something, though, it would be the Erdtree's Favor. You can get the Erdtree's Favor +2 or the regular Erdtree's Favor. Our fourth talisman is Lord of Blood's Exaltation. This one is pretty much a must. This procs instantly when we use our Ashes of War, which gives us additional attack power. So we pretty much have this up all the time. For our Wondrous Physic, we've got the Dexterity Not Crystal tier, which temporarily boosts our dexterity. And then we've got the Crimson Crystal tier, which restores half of our max HP. And I'll show you why here in a second. The Ashes of War that we're using on our scimitars is Seppuku. We're using it on both blades, so you can get the Lost Ashes of War and duplicate your Seppuku to put on both blades. All you have to do to apply Seppuku to both blades is two-hand your left weapon first. Apply your Seppuku. And then unequip from two-hand, and then apply your Seppuku again. This will coat both blades in blood. The summon that you're going to want to use with this build is the Mimic tier, and the reason for that is because he's going to spawn with the same weapons that you have, so he's going to help apply the bleed. Once you summon your Mimic, you're going to want to drink the Wondrous Physic, which is going to bring us back up to max health. And it's going to also maximize our dexterity, so now we have 80, which is the soft cap for dexterity. So when you're working on your attribute points, vigor, you want 60 in vigor. I have 50 in endurance, 80 in dexterity, so 65 in dexterity. And then once you drink your Wondrous Physic, it'll bring you up to 80. And then dump everything else into Arcane. Make sure you run enough Intelligence or Faith here to run whatever incantation you would like. Since I'm using the Golden Vow, I've got 25 into Faith for that. Before anybody says, why don't I have all my points into Arcane? I did a lot of testing, and since these are dexterity weapons that we're using, it makes more sense to put all of our attributes into dexterity. So when we're fully buffed, we're at cap here, and that is actually more damage. I did testing on the Sleeping Dragon, and it was far more damage than putting everything into Arcane. All right, before we go into a fight, what we're gonna do is just pull out our finger seal. buff ourselves with the golden vow, and then we're going to apply our seppuku. And then we're going to call out our mimic tier. And then finally, we're gonna drink our physic to get our dexterity to max and to heal us back up. So now you're ready for the fight. This build will also work really well with frost. So if you're interested in any of the frost ashes of war, click on this video here. And then if you wanted to look at other options for the blood ashes of war, click on this video here. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comment section. I appreciate everybody watching. Leave me a thumbs up if you don't mind. It really helps the algorithm, and we'll see you in the next video.